Hello everyone, my name is KelSounds, and today I want to make a 808 inside of Faceplant, or I guess for today's sound design session. But yeah, let's go ahead and just dive right in. I'm going to set it to, I think I had it at F0 last time, but I think I'm going to set it to a higher note, like G0. And then I'm going to exit out of this generator and click on a wavetable, do a triangle wave, and then I'm going to add a new group here, call this pitch, and that's what this LFO is going to be doing. It's just going to be controlling the pitch or the harmonic of our wavetable. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn that up by a whole bunch, turn the modulation off, maybe turn up the rate by quite a bit, make this kind of shape. Let's see, if I hit control it'll snap to grid, so something like that. I'm going to right click and hit 10 on the rate. Oh yeah, that's perfect. So that is the first part of our 808. I'm going to add another new group and call this volume. Go ahead and add another LFO, turn the modulation off, and do something like this. Make this kind of shape. Then I'm going to come over here to our third effects group and add a gain snap in, set it to %, and I'm just going to turn it down all the way where it's at 0. Then I'm going to modulate the volume by 50%. Then I'm just going to turn up the rate of our LFO over here. Nice. And then I'm going to add one more group, and this is going to be for a filter that we're going to be adding later. And this is also going to be an LFO. I'm going to set the modulation off, turn up the rate a little bit, kind of do something like this. And then before we modulate our filter, I'm just going to go ahead and add some distortion. Of course, we're going to need a lot of distortion for our 808, so I'm just going to... Oh, geez Louise. I'm going to turn the gain stage on again. See if I mess around with the bias here. I think I'll just leave that alone. Then I'm going to add another filter snap in and turn the Q up. And I'm just going to leave it at a low pass filter. Then I'm going to modulate the cutoff to get this kind of like flurry effect. If I turn up the Q, if I turn up the Q a bit more. What if I put that before the distortion? Yeah, I don't know if you can... Yeah, there we go. I kind of like the way that sounds. I'm just going to turn up the gain a little bit more. And I'll just call this group the sub. And I kind of want to see what happens if I add some noise. So I'm just going to add a noise generator, and then for the output, hit envelope, and probably add an LFO for this group, and a new group, and just call it volume. Turn the... Actually, I'm going to turn the rate all the way up. And, yep, the gain's all the way down. I'm just going to, or slowly modulate the gain of this. I'm going to put a high pass filter on our noise group as well. I like that. Kind of add some texture, which is pretty nice. And then for our post-processing, I think I'm just going to add another distortion, or a shaper this time. Kind of juice things up a little bit here. Turn up the drive. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to turn this back to -15. Probably going to put a limiter on this as well. Turn up the drive a bit more. And the mix, kind of just lower that down. Make the edges a little bit more rough. Then kind of just do some EQing with a slice EQ. Do a little bit of a low pass here. And then do a little bit of a cleanup on the low end. Just going to zoom out of this equalizer. Turn down the noise a bit, I think. Kind of just mess with the knobs a little bit more here. Yeah, I like the way that's sounding. Then the last thing I'm going to do is add a dynamics to this and just compress it. I'll set the ratio to 2. Kind of just mess with the threshold or the high threshold, and then I'm going to turn up the knee a little bit so that way the compression starts a little bit early. Turn up the release and then turn up the out gain a little bit. And then now for our limiter, I'm going to go ahead and push the volume a little bit more. I do like the noise, but like where it's like barely noticeable, honestly. Yeah, I guess I could try and make a melody with that, but I think I just want to record this. And then here we go. Sweet. That is our 808 sample. Then of course you can always go ahead and just like resample this or something, which I'll probably do. I think I'm going to separate this part right here, kind of lower it down a little bit more, and then consolidate it with the rest of the loop. Actually, probably do a fade like that and then consolidate it. And then of course now we can just oh yeah, that is nice. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Adios.